that, of course, is a story for another day, and I'll see you, and we'll talk about that down the road. Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show, Bill Schuyler here, and I'm coming at you on Wednesday, early, 12 noon, high noon, if you will. How can I be talking about NXT? Well, I'm going to be able to talk to you about it because this is not about tonight's NXT event. No. This is about an event that was not recorded for the WWE Network. This was in San Jose, California, WrestleMania weekend. Matter of fact, it was the opening event, the Friday night, to get the crowds moving and grooving for the main event on Sunday, that being WrestleMania 31. Here we had NXT, had their biggest card yet on that Friday night, where at San Jose University, they had a 4,500 seat capacity, and they wound up with a total of 5,000 rabid fans in a standing room only situation. This crowd was in crazy mode, and you just knew that tonight was going to be something special, and special indeed. It opened up with Hideo Itami versus Prince Pretty Tyler Breeze. This match was so much better and literally jacked up and so much more exciting than their recent outings on NXT television. The crowd was chanting GTS from the get-go. Hideo Itami took it to Tyler Breeze. They went back and forth, and it came down to early on in the match, unbelievably so, Hideo Itami finally nailed the GTS in an NXT ring. And sorry for CM Punk, but Jesus Palomino, this is a move that was and always has been Kenta's move, who is Hideo Itami, and he struck and nailed that on Prince Pretty. He hit it after a huge corner drop kick, and Itami got the 1, the 2, and the 3, and he was so fired up, and the crowd was eating it up, cheering for Itami. He was way over with this crowd, bigger than he has been since his initial arrival to NXT. We next had Jason Jordan going up against Bull Dempsey. Now, this is a match I wasn't quite sure where it was going to go. Jason Jordan, not a guy that I've seen much. Bull Dempsey, I've seen a lot of. He's a tough guy, but he has been on a losing streak. And we had this, and, my, like I said, Dempsey's losing streak unfortunately continued here as Jordan hit an exploder suplex and won the match. Bull got great heat for most of the match. He was controlling Jordan, but somehow he lost this match. And again, Jordan just pretty much banged him out quick as can be. Got the 1, 2, 3, and got pretty zero reaction from the crowd. The people had not any love for Jason Jordan, and in my opinion, a man like Bull Dempsey going up against this Jordan kid, who I guess they're going to try to push him, but Bull Dempsey needs to stop on his losing streak and become the mean bruiser that he was built up to be. And in my opinion, he should have won and won big. But that was not the case. Our next match here was a women's tag match. And yes, you know what? This is not Raw. This is not SmackDown. We don't have to say, let the Divas do something, because the women down here in NXT are the best in the company, the best in the universe, the best going worldwide, in my opinion. This match was a tag team match with Alexa Bliss and Bayley, and they were going up against the debuting of Dana Brooke and the ever vicious Becky Lynch. Bayley came out to a huge hometown reaction, and it carried her on all night long. Bayley hit her suplex on Becky Lynch for the win. This was a tremendous women's match, and Becky, just her ability as a heel is improving every time she steps in the ring. She stood out as one of the most impressive women heels we have in the business right now. And again, in my opinion, she is a future champion without a single doubt in the show's mind and opinion. We then had, what a match I was expecting here, as I've seen these two gentlemen fighting on the indie scene many a time. I'm talking about Solomon Crowe, the former Sammy Callahan, and he was going up against his old nemesis from Evolve Wrestling, Kalisto, the former Samurai del Sol. This was a great match, and we had a ton of back and forth wrestling and a great mat grappling going on between these two. My God, I said that the history between these men is amazing, and it continues here. Eventually, they make it to the ropes and then out to the floor. Crow blocked a splash from Kalisto, put him in the stretch muffler for the win, and the crowd was behind Crow big time. Again, great match. Two guys who are going to move up in this company. I'm glad to see that they got Kalisto once again on the single scene, leaving Sin Cara out. I think the Lucha Dragons need to be put away. The mask for Sin Cara taken off. Let that man go on his own business. And we will continue here and have Kalisto be that modern day, that new Rey Mysterio for the company. And as far as Solomon Crowe, there's just so much that this guy has to offer. Former tag partner to one Dean Ambrose back in the day. If that means anything to you, check it out on the internet. Go there on YouTube and look up the Switchblade Brothers, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But let's get back to NXT. And we have here an oh my God match as Baron Corbin goes up against the man beast Rhino, who got a huge pop. And of course the ECW chant started up. These two men went at it, fist and fire, brawling it like two big men should. And Corbin got warmed up and started taking it to Rhino. Rhino went to hit the gore, and Corbin turned around and grabbed a hold of him and hit him for the end of days. And then he got the pin, the 1, 2, 3, of course. Turned around after the match and was hit with a gore from Rhino to another huge pop. This crowd truly loves Rhino, and he was not advertised to be on the card, so the crowd was loving it. Something here in creative, you guys got to realize. You've brought the man beast into NXT. He is there to kick ass and take names. He's not there for enhancement. It's time to put this man on the move up the ladder. I want to see Rhino going up against Kevin Owens for that NXT strap. We then had an intermission, and Corey Graves came out and introduced Triple H, who got a huge pop and a thank you Hunter chants that went on seemingly forever. Triple H said to them, the thanks goes strictly out to you guys, and Triple H was really having a good time here. He called NXT the hottest thing in town and said that everyone from X-Pac to HBK to Steph and to Vince McMahon, Seth Rollins, and tons of guys from the main roster are all backstage watching the NXT performers do what they do. And then he pointed out a guy in the front row. It was good old JR, Jim Ross, and the crowd went insane. JR got a massive pop, way bigger than Vinnie Mac and any of the others got all night long. He got a hold of the microphone and praised NXT as the future. And then another big NXT chant got going. And then intermission was over, and we're back into the action. We had the WWE's NXT Tag Team Champions, Team BAM, going up against Enzo and Big Cass and the Vaudevillians in a three-way elimination match. Again, as I have been saying, Enzo and Cass are future tag team champions. They are two of the most popular guys in the company. They're improving every time they hit the ring, and their verbal skills on the microphone has the crowd eating out of their hands, and it was no different here tonight. The crowd went insane for Enzo, Cass, and Carmella. Now, their shtick, as I said, went over big time. And, you know, the whole bada bing, bada boom, baddest guys in the room, the fans were popping over that. It was louder even that the pop that Rhino got earlier in the evening. All three teams here worked together very well. Big Cass pinned one of the Vaudevillians, eliminating them first. Then Carmella tried to interfere, but it backfired, and Cass got hit with a cheap shot while he was looking to see if Carmella was okay, and Team BAM got the pin on Big Cass. And damn, if that didn't happen once before. Carmella seems to be causing more problems at ringside than she is helping the boys out. They scored the pin, and Team BAM retained the NXT Tag Team straps. And now our next match was for the women's title, and the champion, Sasha Banks, was going up against the former champion, one Charlotte Flair. The crowd was on fire for this match. And I'll remind you that this is a women's match, not a Divas match. So this was no bathroom break. This was no time to make a sandwich. This was time to sit and watch two of the best women in the business take it to the limit. The crowd chanted, "This is wrestling. This is awesome." They just went insane chanting throughout this match. They were so psyched to see Banks and Flair going at it. We had lots of back and forth action from Banks and Flair. They got into mat wrestling. Charlotte put on several babyface comebacks as Sasha was taking it to her hard. But Sasha, like I said, was just on fire, and she was breaking out. literally out of 2 figure 4s, and then traded numerous pin attempts before Sasha dropped Charlotte into the bank statement, and Charlotte Flair tapped out to the champion. This was a killer match and was very much like Charlotte's match versus Natalya some time ago. And as great a champion as Sasha Banks is, Charlotte has something special. It's hard to explain, but the fans love her whether she's a face or a heel. And they actually began chanting, "Thank you, Charlotte," after this match. And I'm telling you that somewhere down the line soon, Charlotte Flair is going to be gone from NXT and will be up on the main roster, ruling the roost and taking that Divas Championship from whoever holds it at that current time. And I hope that they trash that Divas belt and bring back the women's title so we can have real women's action like we have in NXT up on the main roster. And if the Divas want to do their Divas show and Divas stuff, let them do that on the side, but have the women's title so we can have some real grappling going on in the ring. Now, other than that, I digress, but it's just I love women's wrestling, and I love the when it is in perfection, and these kind of girls here at NXT are being groomed to be real wrestlers. We then had Sami Zayn, former champion, come out to a huge pop and the Ole chants for the former NXT champion. He said that he is injured and has not yet been cleared to wrestle. He talked about the NXT Revolution event until finally the champion, Kevin Owens, came out on the stage. Owen then cut a promo on Sami, and the crowd started with the what chants. Oh, what? Sometimes it's hilarious, sometimes, it goes along, and sometimes it's really a pain in the ass. And right now I wasn't feeling it, but regardless, Owens said that he was going to do what he had to do. He talked about Sami talked about taking the title back, and the two of them had words. Sami took credit for Owens being brought into NXT, and it looked like a fight was going to break out right there. But Owens, typical mental maneuvering that he did, walked off, backed away, mentioning that he had had his own surgery and was unable to wrestle at this time. Sami promised that he would get that NXT title back around his waist. We then came to the main event of the evening. Finn Balor going up against Adrian Neville. You just knew this match was going to blow the roof off the building, and by God, they did everything and anything. Of course, it opened up with Balor coming out in full body paint, and he got a holy shit chant going throughout the arena. This crowd, like I said, was on fire. I mean, literally, they were hotter than hell. And we got "This is better than WrestleMania" chants going at one part. Neville and Balor again just tore the house down with every move in their repertoire. This was a true slobber knocker, and two of the best wrestlers in the world took it to each other. And Neville appeared to have Balor down for the kill. He took it to the top rope, and the man that gravity forgot went for the red arrow. Baylor moving out of the way, then got on top and hit Neville with the big stomp for the win. 1, 2, and 3. And your winner, Finn Baylor. Oh my God, how this should have been filmed and aired live on the WWE Network to kick off WrestleMania weekend. This would have just blown the circuits out of the network. The fans would have been going out of control. And I honestly think that they were afraid that this may have overshadowed WrestleMania itself and didn't want to air it because they know what talent lies in this company. A company that Triple H has now said is no longer a developmental company. It is its own brand. And by saying that, he's opening NXT up to moving across the country and to becoming its own brand, its own little company, as you might say. They may eventually involve themselves more against the SmackDown and Raw rosters. You had Hideo Itami winning this match, which allowed him into the Andre the Giant Memorial match at WrestleMania. He unfortunately did not win and was tossed over the top rope, but he had his WrestleMania moment already. I personally think that they should have had someone, if from NXT was going to go into that event, they should have won to put over a younger guy, not putting over the Big Show. But that's for another story. That's a whole other thing. I think the Show is on his last run, and they're looking to give him some respect and give him his last, like I said, his last run in the company. May very well be this year. So with that, again, I am the Show. You can reach me on Twitter at YouGotTheShow. 1WRESTLING. As always, the boss, Bill Apter. Follow him at Apter1. You can see him on YouTube at ApterChat. And then you have my tag team partners in the Can-Am Wrestling Show, Andre _Corbeil and Big Ray of Big Ray Show. Follow them on Twitter. The Can-Am Wrestling Show comes out every Saturday night. Billy Ray Valentine, my partner at Old School Billy Ray Hustle. That's right, and we're getting ready. We're coming back. We already got a show planned up, and it's going to be One Wrestling Hustling Show goes old school. I cannot wait. What I also can't wait for is the PW Hustle podcast that Billy Ray puts out. And I'm waiting to hear what they got to say this week. And then, of course, I'm waiting for, let's see, I got about 7 hours left until NXT airs on the network tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And with that, you'll get my full review of the show. And other than that, right now, it's about all I got to say. And I think it's time for me to tell you, I'll see you down the road.